During Christmas dinner, my uncle slurred, "Let's celebrate with a toast." My aunt gasped, "She's been sober for 2 years." My cousin smirked, "One drink won't kill you." My hands trembled as they pushed a glass toward me. I stood up and said, "Then let's make a bet." As I poured the drink down the sink, their faces turned red. I, 34 female, haven't shared this publicly before. But after everything that happened last Christmas, I feel like I need to get it out. Maybe someone will understand. Maybe someone's been there too. But yeah, here goes. I've been sober for a little over 2 years. Alcohol used to be my coping tool. It helped me sleep, it helped me get through hard days, it helped me numb myself from things I didn't want to face. What started out as casual drinking slowly turned into blackouts, missed work, and lies to my family. It nearly destroyed me. After one particularly bad night 2 years ago, where I woke up not remembering how I got home, blood on my shirt from falling face first onto concrete, and 13 missed calls from my mom, I checked myself into a rehab facility in Cagayan de Oro. It was the lowest point of my life, but it was also the start of my recovery. My immediate family supported me. My mom was especially protective. My dad didn't always understand, but he was respectful. My younger brother Miguel, 29M, became my anchor. We weren't always close, but sobriety somehow brought us together. I stayed clean, went to therapy, started over. It wasn't easy. Now fast forward to last December. My family decided to host Christmas dinner at my aunt's house in Butuan City. They have a decent-sized home and a big backyard where we set up a few tables and some monoblock chairs. My cousins were coming. My uncles. Even a few family friends. Everyone was excited. Or at least they acted like it. That's where this story really starts. My cousin Armin, 35M, was back in town after losing his job in Manila. He's always had this smug way about him, always acting like he's better than everyone, but the truth is, the guy can't hold a job for more than a year. Still, the family treats him like royalty because he's been through a lot. Whatever. He moved in with us a few weeks before Christmas. I didn't love it, but I kept my mouth shut. I tried to avoid him when I could. We had our share of passive-aggressive moments, but nothing outright. I knew he drank a lot, but I didn't think he'd make it my problem. Not like this. So, it's Christmas Eve. The table is full: lechon, spaghetti, lumpia, hamon, queso de bola, the usual. People are laughing, kids running around, titas showing off their new jewelry and fake Louis Vuitton bags. Classic. Then my Uncle Rudy stands up. He's 3 drinks in already and slurring just enough that everyone notices. He holds up a glass of red wine and goes, "Let's celebrate with a toast." I stiffened. My mom looked at me, then looked at him and said, "She's been sober for 2 years." I appreciated that. I really did. It wasn't loud. It wasn't angry. Just a reminder. But then Armin. This piece of work. He picks up the wine bottle and starts pouring into a glass like it's water. "One drink won't kill you," he says. Smirking. Handing me the glass like it's some kind of joke. And let me tell you, the silence was loud. People stopped eating. My uncle stood there blinking like he didn't know what was happening. My aunt gasped and then started whispering to another cousin. Miguel looked furious. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I didn't even know what to say at first. Here's the thing, when someone tries to push alcohol on you after you've made it clear you're sober, it's not just disrespect. It's cruel. It's intentional. It's trying to undo years of work in a single moment. And the worst part? No one said anything. So I stood up. My hands were shaking. I reached out, took the glass slowly, looked him straight in the eyes and said, "Then let's make a bet." He frowned. A few people leaned in like I was about to explode. I walked over to the kitchen sink. Glass in hand. Let's bet how many people here are actually happy, I said, louder this time. Let's bet how many people pretend everything's fine just because it's Christmas. And then I poured the wine down the drain. The whole room went dead silent. People looked away. Some were embarrassed. Others looked mad. Armin's smirk disappeared so fast I almost laughed. My aunt started to say something but stopped. My uncle just sat back down like someone deflated him. No one cheered. No one clapped. It wasn't that kind of moment. But it was a turning point. I didn't say anything else after that. I went outside and lit a cigarette. I haven't smoked in a year either, but I needed something. Miguel came out after me and sat down beside me in silence. He didn't try to fix it. He didn't try to cheer me up. He just sat there with me. And honestly, that was enough. I don't know where things go from here. I still haven't spoken to Armin. My mom keeps trying to smooth things over, but I'm not ready. Not yet. I don't think this is something you just move on from with a simple apology. There's more, and if anyone wants an update, I'll post it. But I needed to get this part out first. Sobriety isn't just about saying no to alcohol. It's about learning to say no to people who don't respect your boundaries. Even when they're family. Especially when they're family. I didn't go back inside right away. I sat out there in the cold night air, staring up at the stars that peeked through the palm trees, trying to make sense of what just happened. I felt humiliated and angry, but mostly I felt alone. Like even though people were around me, no one really had my back. Except Miguel. After a while, my mom came outside, holding a shawl. She draped it around my shoulders and sat next to me. You didn't do anything wrong, she said softly. I just wish tonight had gone differently. Me too, I replied, keeping my eyes on the horizon. That could have been the end of it, but of course, it wasn't. The next morning, I woke up to tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. No one looked each other in the eye. People whispered behind doors. Breakfast was silent. It was like someone had died. Then I heard my name. I was walking past the kitchen when I caught the tail end of a conversation between my aunt and Armin. They didn't know I was nearby. She acts like she's better than everyone just because she stopped drinking, Armin said. She made a scene. I don't care what she's going through, you don't do that at a family dinner, my aunt added. She poured a whole bottle of good wine down the drain like we're garbage, he grumbled. I froze. I wanted to walk away. I really did. But something inside me snapped. I walked into the kitchen, stood right there, and said, "So, that's how you feel?" They both turned to look at me. Like they'd seen a ghost. My aunt opened her mouth but no words came out. Armin stared at me, his mouth twitching like he wanted to say something nasty but didn't know how to spin it. I didn't wait. You don't have to like my choices. But you will respect them, I said. And if you can't, then say it to my face, not behind my back. Maybe you shouldn't have embarrassed the whole family in front of guests, my aunt finally said. I laughed. Out loud. I couldn't believe it. Embarrassed? I repeated. You think what I did was embarrassing? You should be proud I didn't cave. But instead, you're mad I made Armin look bad. He finally spoke up. You didn't just make me look bad. You turned the night into your personal therapy session. I stepped closer. You handed me that drink knowing I've been sober. You wanted a reaction, I said, eyes locked on his. Don't act like the victim now. The room fell silent again. My mom came in and tried to calm things down, but it was too late. The line had been drawn. The holiday spirit? Gone. Everyone pretended to move on like nothing happened, but the vibe was different. Colder. Quieter. Later that day, I caught Miguel alone in the garage while he was fixing a light bulb. He looked up and said, "You might want to see this." He handed me his phone. It was a screenshot. A group chat. A family group chat. One I wasn't in. At the top, it said, Pamela Core, and there it was. Messages from my cousins, aunt, even another uncle. She always thinks she's the main character. I'm tired of walking on eggshells around her. I miss when she used to be fun, before all the sober stuff. Honestly, she needs help again. I don't think she's really clean. My chest tightened. I couldn't breathe. I gave Miguel back the phone and walked away without saying a word. It felt like someone had taken a knife and dragged it across my back. I didn't cry. I just started packing. My mom tried to stop me, but I told her I couldn't stay. I wasn't going to spend another night in a house full of people who were smiling at my face and stabbing me in the back when I turned around. Miguel offered to drive me to the bus station. The car ride was quiet. Halfway there, he spoke. I'm sorry, he said. I thought they'd changed. I thought you'd at least get a fair shot. I'm used to it, I said, but the truth was, I wasn't. It still hurt. Every time. Then, just as we were about to turn the corner onto the main road, Miguel pulled the car over. I didn't want to tell you this, but you should know. Armin, he's not just being a jerk. He's covering something up. I looked at him. Miguel hesitated. Then said, he got caught cheating on his girlfriend. That's why he lost his job in Manila. HR got involved. It was messy. I blinked. What? She was an intern, Miguel added. He didn't just get fired. They're investigating him for harassment. I sat back, stunned. Everything started to click. The sudden move. His attitude. The way he deflects attention from himself. It all made sense. That's why he wanted me to drink, I said, more to myself than anyone else. He wanted the attention off him. Miguel nodded. And that's where I'm going to stop for now. There's more. A lot more. But that moment right there, that realization, that changed everything. Let me know if you want the next part. Because what happened after I left wasn't the end either. Not even close. I got off the bus in Cagayan de Oro just before midnight. I stayed at a small inn near the old Divisoria area. Nothing fancy, just a bed, a clean room, and no one pushing wine into my hand or talking behind my back. I didn't text anyone. I just needed space. The first night I couldn't sleep. I kept playing back that group chat in my mind. Over and over. She needs help again. She used to be fun. The words burned like acid. The next morning, I got a call from an unknown number. At first, I ignored it. Then it rang again. I picked up. Is this Anna? A woman's voice said, shaky and nervous. Yes, who's this? My name's Lori. I used to be with Armin. I froze. She kept talking. I found your name through his Facebook. You're his cousin, right? My chest tightened. She started crying. I just needed to talk to someone who might understand what he's done. I didn't know who else to reach out to. I sat down. And for the next 15 minutes, I listened to her story. She was 22. Fresh out of college. She got a job at Armin's company in Manila as a marketing assistant. At first, he was charming. Helpful. Funny. Then it got weird. He started flirting, cornering her in hallways, sending her drunk texts at night. She said no. Over and over. He didn't stop. One night, after an office party, she said he kissed her against her will. She pushed him off and ran. She told HR the next day. 3 other women came forward. He was asked to resign quietly. No investigation. No real accountability. Just gone. And now he's acting like he's the victim, she said between sobs. He blamed me for ruining his career. Said his family would disown him if they knew the truth. I sat there, stunned. This wasn't just some jerk cousin with a drinking problem and a bad attitude. This was deeper. Darker. I asked her if she had any proof. She sent me screenshots. Texts. A copy of her complaint to HR. It was real. All of it. I promised her I wouldn't tell anyone she called me. But I knew what I had to do next. I didn't go back to Butuan. I went to my friend Eli's place in Iligan. We've been close since college, and she's one of the few people who's seen me at my worst and never flinched. She took me in without asking questions. That night, I forwarded the screenshots to Miguel. He messaged back right away. Miguel, this is bad. Really bad. I knew something was off, but not this. Me, still think I overreacted on Christmas Eve? Miguel, no. You were the only one reacting at all. Then the next bomb dropped. A few days later, Miguel messaged again. Miguel, he's telling people you made a scene to distract from rumors about you relapsing. He's saying you hit on him after a few drinks. I swear I almost threw my phone across the room. It was so clear now. He was flipping the whole thing. Rewriting the story. And people were believing him. I started getting cold texts from relatives. Short responses. No emojis. Some even stopped replying altogether. He poisoned the well. And I was done being quiet. I posted the screenshots, Lori's texts, the complaint, the resignation letter from his company, on my private Instagram. Only close friends and family could see it. No captions. No tags. Just the truth. Then I turned off my phone. I don't know how long it took, but by the time I turned it back on, all hell had broken loose. Calls. Missed messages. Voice notes. Some apologizing. Some demanding I take it down. One cousin saying I was ruining Christmas for everyone. No one asked if I was okay. No one said sorry for doubting me. My mom finally called, crying. Not because she was mad, but because she finally realized I had been telling the truth all along. She said Armin left the house that morning after yelling at everyone, claiming he was being set up. And my aunt? She called me too. And let me tell you, if you think people can't twist a situation after they've been caught, think again. She said, you should have come to us first. We could have handled this privately. You didn't have to shame him publicly. I almost laughed. Handled it privately? Like how you handled my sobriety? She went quiet. People like Armin count on silence, I told her. Not anymore. And that's where I'll stop, for now. Because what happens after that? Well, not everyone stays quiet. And not everyone is who they pretend to be. After the Instagram post went live and everything blew up, I stayed in Iligan a few more days. I didn't answer calls unless it was from Miguel or my mom. The family was split down the middle. Some believed me. Some didn't. Some just wanted things to go back to normal, whatever that means. But I'd stirred something that couldn't be undone. Not this time. Then came New Year's. Miguel called and said, they're having a family dinner again. At Uncle Rudy's place this time. Everyone's going. Armin too. I almost laughed. Why would I want to be there? I asked. Because he's still running his mouth. And maybe it's time someone shut him up. I thought about it for a day. I didn't want to go. But part of me also knew, I couldn't move on with that much left unsaid. If I didn't show up, the story would stay twisted. If I did, maybe I'd finally get to say it all. So I went. I wore a plain white dress. No makeup. Hair tied back. Nothing fancy, just clean, calm, sober. Miguel picked me up. We didn't talk much on the drive. I think we were both bracing for whatever was coming. The house was packed when we arrived. People turned and stared as I walked in. Whispers. Raised eyebrows. A few nods of support from cousins who had seen the screenshots. Armin was there. Sitting in the middle of it all, laughing like nothing had happened. He had a beer in his hand and that same smug look on his face. He saw me. And he smirked. I walked straight past him. Sat at the far end of the table. Nobody said a word for a while. Then Uncle Rudy, drunk again, because of course, stood up and slurred, "Let's toast to the new year." New beginnings, huh? I waited. No one made a move. Then Armin chuckled and said, "Let's hope this year everyone keeps their secrets to themselves." Miguel dropped his fork. Loud. I stood up. "This is exactly what I meant," I said, loud enough for the whole table. "Even now, after everything, you're still trying to spin the story." Armin didn't flinch. "You made it public. You think you're the only one who's been through something? Get over it." I reached into my bag, pulled out a printout. I handed it to my aunt, his mom. It was the complaint letter. The HR email. The messages he sent Lori. She read it slowly. Her face turned pale. "Mom, don't," Armin started. But she slapped the paper down and said, "You told me she made it up. That it was a misunderstanding." "No. You told me to lie about it," he snapped back. The whole room gasped. I swear time stopped. Uncle Rudy stood up and yelled, "You what?" Armin looked around like a trapped animal. It was one stupid mistake. Everyone's acting like they're saints, she just wanted attention. That's when Lori stepped out from the kitchen. Yeah. She came. Miguel had called her earlier and asked if she'd be willing to come. Just stand in the room. Nothing else. She agreed. Armin's face dropped. She didn't say anything. She didn't have to. She just stood there, holding a small envelope. She handed it to my aunt and left without saying a word. Inside? A legal notice. The company was reopening the case. There was new pressure from former employees. People started shouting. Uncles yelling over one another. Cousins arguing. My mom cried quietly in the corner. Miguel tried to calm everyone down, but it was chaos. And Armin? He just sat there. Staring at nothing. Eventually, he stood up and walked out the door. Didn't say a word. Didn't look back. A few minutes later, his mom followed him out. No one else moved. The dinner ended in silence. One cousin hugged me. Another apologized. My aunt didn't speak to me. Some people looked at me like I'd destroyed the family. But for the first time in years, I didn't feel crazy. The next few days were weird. Some family members blocked me. Others messaged me to say they were praying for peace. A few sent long, awkward voice notes trying to justify why they hadn't believed me sooner. My aunt never responded. Miguel told me Armin left town again. No one knew where he went. And me? I went back to Cagayan. Got back to my routine. Therapy. Group meetings. Walking. Cooking. Staying sober. That whole mess taught me more than any rehab ever could. It taught me that silence protects the wrong people. That boundaries aren't rude, they're necessary. That sobriety isn't just about what you don't drink. It's about what you won't swallow anymore. Lies. Gaslighting. Disrespect. I'm not a hero in this story. I'm just a woman who finally stopped letting people write her story for her. Do I regret it? No. Do I wish it could have been different? Maybe. But truth has a way of burning things down before it rebuilds anything. I lost some family this Christmas. But I found my voice. And this time, I'm not pouring that down the sink.